Right, Newcastle host Manchester City at St James's Park in the lunchtime kick-off tomorrow. Eddie Howe held his pre-match news conference this morning. Nick Walsh was there for us and joins us now. Hi there, Nick. More concerns over the fitness of Alexander Isak this morning, I believe.
Yeah, that's the big concern, Hayley. The Sweden international, we know, picked up a toe injury in the recent fixture against Wolves. What we didn't know, which was confirmed today, is that Alexander Isak has a broken toe. So he's been undergoing scans and is a huge concern ahead of that visit of champions Manchester City on Saturday. We've got a little bit more detail about that from Eddie Howe. But 25 goals last season. And if he's not available on Saturday, you know, that's going to put a major dent in Newcastle's ambitions of upsetting Pep Guardiola's men, because they don't have another identical archetypal number 9 to fill in for Alexander Isak. So yeah, that is a huge concern for Newcastle. Eddie Howe confirming on Friday that the Sweden international has a broken toe.
Yeah, it'd be a doubt for tomorrow. I think he trained last week before the Fulham game on the Friday, just trying to remember. And he had an injection in his toe to play. He felt fine. But then he started to feel his toe, I think, in the last 5 to 10 minutes of that game. And then after the game, it sort of stiffened up and it wasn't in a great place early in the week. So he hasn't trained yet. So we'll have to make a decision again as to whether he trains today or he misses the game.
Do we think maybe Nick Anthony Gordon could be the solution instead of Isak through the middle tomorrow? There's been a lot of talk about a contract extension for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Hayley. More detail on that today, of course, because of ongoing conjecture about the future of Anthony Gordon. His form was so good last season, of course, it earned him a place in England's Euro 2024 squad. And the question was put to Eddie Howe about whether Newcastle were involved in discussions with Anthony Gordon about a contract extension amid ongoing interest from Liverpool. Eddie Howe denied that those talks had taken place. There hadn't been any talks about that, but did stress that Anthony Gordon, they hope, can continue his career at Newcastle United.
We love Anthony. We'd love him to commit his future here. We'd love him to stay long-term at Newcastle and continue his excellent start to his career here, because when you look at the broader piece of what he's done since he's arrived at the football club, I think he's been magnificent for us. We need to try and help him get back to his very best levels. And if that means signing a new contract, then I'm all for that, to help him be settled and concentrate on his football.
And Nick, Newcastle had a bit of a free week after their game at Wimbledon was called off due to, real problems with the pitch, didn't they? What did Howe have to say about that?
Yeah, so a disrupted week, obviously, with the extensive flooding off the back of, torrential rain in the southwest London area, which meant that Tuesday's game had to be postponed. That will now be rearranged for the 1st of October. Newcastle made their own contribution to a crowdfunding page, which is obviously trying to raise money to get that plough lane surface back in a playable condition. And Eddie Howe delighted that Newcastle could contribute to that, but specifically looking ahead to Saturday, making the point, look, Newcastle have done a bit of soul searching. There's been some internal reflection off the back of that 3-1 defeat by Fulham, and stressing the point that his players have got to step up for the visit of Manchester City on Saturday.
I think that's where the football community does so well for each other, because that support is vital. I mean, you look at the pitch there, it looked in a really bad way. Had no idea until sort of minutes before my press conference of the situation. But yeah, we wish them well and we hope their pitch gets back working very soon. Of course, it gave us the opportunity to train, which was probably a good thing for us. 2 really good days where we've gone to work with the team and to try and solve some of the issues from the Fulham game. So I'll look at that as a positive. I think whatever situation you're in, if we had the game, it would have been a positive. If we didn't, we always try and look at the positive outlook on the situation. So pleased with the work that we've done. And yeah, we're looking for a better performance.
So obviously it's Manchester City next, isn't it? However, there's going to be no Rodri. Is this something that Newcastle United can, view as a bit of an opportunity to maybe target the midfield if there's any weakness there?
Yeah, that was the question that was put to him, Hayley, about, in some aspects, perversely, is this in effect the perfect fixture, really, for Newcastle United as they look to respond from that 3-1 defeat by Fulham? There's also major doubt about Kevin De Bruyne as well. So could Newcastle take advantage? The only issue there, Hayley, is that Eddie Howe's got some midfield concerns of his own. Captain Bruno, who was at fault for one of the goals against Fulham, fellow Brazilian Joe Linton, struggling for form right now amid a backdrop of a real clamour from supporters for Sandro Tonali to make his first Premier League start since returning from his 10-month ban. So he's got some decisions of his own to make as Eddie Howe, but notwithstanding the challenge that he expects from the champions Manchester City on Saturday.
Regardless of whoever they play in there, they're going to have an outstanding team of midfielders. However Pep decides to play, he's going to have a team full of players that have won continually over the last few years. So I don't think it changes anything from our perspective. I think we have to do our part, and that is play at our best and give everything we can physically to win the match. We have to carry a threat. I think we have to be an attacking force in the game. We have to be brave with the ball as well. So forgetting their qualities, which is very easy to say you can't because they're an outstanding team. But I think just looking at us, we have to, as I say, be that attacking force in the game and not forget what we're good at. And I think that's absolutely crucial.
Yeah, and just some final, just to wrap up some other injury news, Hayley. Eddie Howe making the point that he does not expect the Newcastle United players' long-term injury concerns, the likes of youngster Louis Smiley, striker Callum Wilson, defender Jamal Lascelles, or indeed fellow defender Sven Botman. None of those players expected to be involved on Saturday as Newcastle United welcome champions Manchester City to St James's Park. 12:30 kickoff.
Thank you very much indeed, Nick.